That's all my reasoning behind it. So I don't regret what I did, especially, and I love Leroy to death, especially because Leroy did make it to a final and Kyle outperformed him. So I did make the right choice, because when I was running next to Leroy, I'm like, Leroy, we're running next to each other in full armor. And I'm like, Leroy, even Tony, I'm like, come on. Like, they know, talk to either one of them. In the final, I was running next to them. I was encouraging them. I'm like, Tony, do this for you girls. You came here. Like, come on, you got this. Step it up. I'm running next to Leroy. I'm like, Leroy, keep running, man. And Leroy's like, nah, man, I'm walking. You're in a final. And you're like, nah, I'm going to walk. So I look at who has the heart and who really wanted to be there. And, I got to give it to Kyle. Like, he did way more than anybody thought he was going to do. Like, he beat Tony and Leroy in that final. Hands down. He came in second to everybody just in that first part behind Zach. Come on.
I know that you had a lengthy, I think it was an Instagram post kind of responding to some of the not backlash, but the response to whether the final was unfair from a format perspective, or that, people who had said Zach deserved to win. And I know, I had mentioned this to you that Kayla recently came on the show and said that she thought that the resetting aspect of the final and the negating of the lead that, say, in this case, Zach had built up in the first half.
Kayla was like an hour behind everybody.
Right. Well, that goes to show. I don't think she's talking about it from herself.
Let me friggin' tell you this. Kayla doesn't even know. I asked production. I literally asked them.
Challenge gods.
I asked challenge gods. I'm like, how far in the run was I behind Zach? Because I saw Zach and Kyle running. I saw them. Like, I knew I wasn't far behind them at all. And I sprinted across that damn finish line. And I asked production, I asked the challenge gods. I'm like, how far was I, from my own record, behind Zach and Kyle? And they're like, and the camera guy looks at me, he goes, I don't know, you were like maybe 5 minutes behind Zach, like, 2 to 3 minutes behind Kyle. And I was like, in the run, I was that far behind them, like just 5 minutes behind Zach, 3 minutes behind Kyle. And they're like, yep, guaranteed. Is like, we filmed it, we saw you, we calculated at the times. He goes, you were right there. And I was like, hell yeah, I was. I was the third human. If there was no, Kayla shouldn't even be talking, because it wasn't like first, second. It wasn't the first people that come in first, second, third, and fourth. You make it.
It was 4 people, right?
It was 2 girls and 2 guys. So I could have finished behind Zach, Tony, Leroy, and Kyle. I could have finished 5th, and I would have made it, because it was 2 girls and 2 guys. But I didn't want that. I was like, fuck that. I'm like, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to destroy this so nobody can take it from me. So that's why I finished third human behind Zach and behind Kyle. Whoever finished after me and how they finished, I don't even know, because me, Zach, and Kyle finished so far ahead of everybody that we went down and sat in a goddamn bus and waited for the next person to finish. Ask Zach, ask Kyle. We were eating sandwiches. We were talking. We're like, we kept asking, we're like, dude, did anybody else finish yet? Did Kayla cross yet? We're sitting in a goddamn bus down the hill waiting for somebody else to finish. That's how far ahead we were. So she can shove it.
It is a bit unfair to start breaking down the format after the fact, because, look, if you guys know that it's the 2 top guys and the 2 top girls, and you're well ahead of the next girl, you'd almost be an idiot to, burn all your energy to make sure that you came in closer to Zach than you needed to, just for pride's sake, assuming that someone on a podcast 3 months later is going to start picking apart your win because they told you it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it mattered to me. It was pride. Because I know that no matter what I do, there's always going to be someone that's going to try to take it away from you. And so I was like, I'm going to do so goddamn well in this. Like, I had such a fire under my ass. I was like, I want to destroy this final. I want to fucking destroy people's souls. I was like, and I'm going to keep up with Zach. And I did. I fucking did. I sprinted in that goddamn armor. I carried the same armor as every dude. I carried the same box of weight. I wore the same shackles. There was not one thing that I did that the guys that I got an advantage because I was a girl. I made damn sure of that. So I'm proud of how I did. And I'm proud of the fact that I was only 5 minutes behind Zach.
Do you know how far ahead of him you finished the mix and match memory part?
I don't know for sure, but I was standing up there for a long time. Well more than 5 minutes. I can fucking tell you that, because I was making jokes with the camera crew the entire time. I'm like, are they fucking serious? I'm like, are they still going? they're still running. Like it looked short when you watched it, but they know. It was like, I swear to God, I was up there for 20 minutes to a half an hour. And if Zach had a 5-minute lead on me, I still would have beat him, because the way I memorized shit, and Zach will even say this, he's had concussions, his memory is not the best thing, but this is why they call it the challenge, because you have to be good at everything. If you just show up as the biggest, strongest, fastest guy there, because you can carry the most, you can run the most, you can then that's, what is that? That's not the challenge. That's, I'm the biggest, strongest, fastest person. Duh, I'm going to win. They throw equalizers in there so that anybody can win at any point. And Zach's lucky that I showed up when I did for the swords, because he was able to continue on. And I had the strategy with him, like, Zach, I'm just going to put 3 swords in at a time every time. This doesn't have to be a game. Let's just fucking do it. I'll drink the hot chocolate and we can roll. I was like, I don't want to waste time on plotting out who's going to put swords in. Like, just put 3 every time and we'll roll. And so I helped Zach. He knows that. He told me that. Whereas if I was as far behind as Kayla and Nicole, he would have had to wait for, like, Kayla's the reason Tony had to wait for so long. Actually, Tony's the reason Tony had to wait, because he should have kept up and been right there with Zach doing the swords with Zach. But no, I beat him. So I did the swords with Zach.
I wish that you and me and Dee and Tony and Zach were going to be in the same place in like 12 days. And maybe when we were doing a live on stage Challenge Mania interview, I could ask Zach's opinion about this. Oh, wait, we are all going to be in Orlando on Saturday, June 30th at Howl at the Moon for the Challenge Throwdown event. And Dee and I, as a little cool addition to this Throwdown, are going to be doing Challenge Mania style interviews throughout the day. And maybe we can convince Zach. I know Zach likes to play it close to the vest. I know he likes to be mysterious, tall, dark, and handsome and all that, but maybe we can convince him to come up and we can talk to both you guys, first and second finish of Vendettas, and put it to rest, really who was in front of who, and maybe we can get his opinion on this, because he's a humble guy. I think he'll lay it out there and let us know if he remembers how far ahead of him you were on the good old castle there. So that's something fun to maybe look forward to, and maybe not, if Zach just says no.
Let me tell you, too, the way that I memorized everything on that board was I memorized basically the entire line every time. There was 9 colors. So I memorized the first 6 and took a visual in my head, a visual picture of the last 3. So I would basically memorize a line of 9 every time I ran. I only made one mistake, and I knew immediately when I went back, I knew immediately what my mistake was, and so I went and I fixed it. It only took one extra trip. One extra trip is all I took to fix my mistake and win. Other people were memorizing, maybe 4 at a time, 5 at a time, not even. Kayla, I don't even know how Kayla got the money, because she never even finished her puzzle. She just got it, last place by default, and she didn't even finish. She didn't finish the drill. You're supposed to finish, So all I'm saying is, like, I memorized my shit, like, the entire line every single time, and that's why I only took one extra trip. Everybody else had a different strategy, and I swear to God to you, I was up there for a goddamn long time. A long time. I got to refilm myself winning over and over and over again while everybody was still trying to They were like, okay, well, run back, pretend you... I was like, but they're still trying to solve their puzzle. I was like, I don't want to be obnoxious. And they're like, no, just do it. Like, I literally... That's how long I was up there.
That's cruel. You're coming in second, and you see them just finishing shooting this hero shot of you with your hands in the air, with the director there being like, Cara, be happier. Just be a little happier. Yeah, do it one more time. Again.
I did that so many times. That's what I'm saying. Like, anybody who has anything to say against anything that I won can suck my dick, because I fucking earned that shit. I killed it. That was my final, and I beat Zach well over 5 minutes that I came behind him in the run. I beat him in the puzzle. And anybody wants to say, oh, you wanted a puzzle. It's like, so what are you trying to say? Are you trying to put value over someone that can run faster and carry more because they're genetically superior over someone that wins on a crapshoot? Really? Well, because I'd say my win was a little more impressive there, because it's an equalizer.
Well, no. Here's the thing. It's like you did it all. Though
it did it all.
That's what it comes down to. It's not just carrying armor, while you're shackled. It's not just the puzzle. It's the whole competition. It's all the politics. It's the mental, emotional struggle to get there. People think that, like, you got to the final and then it just got lucky. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's the whole fucking game. So
and let's let's talk about being shackled, because I'm the type of competitor. I didn't know that Nicole was doing shit behind my back. Kayla, I do want to give credit to Kayla and Cam, just as a side note. The big thing I want to say about Kayla and Cam is that in this final, they played their own game. Like, Kayla, you know, she looked like she was going to quit a few times on the run, especially when we were running back and forth, but she never did anything to sabotage my game. Cam never did anything to sabotage my game. And I need to say, just to them in that aspect, like, that shows so much about who they are as competitors, that they worried about themselves, which is the best thing you can do, is just worry about yourself instead of trying to sabotage other people. And they just, I was like, thank you, because I had all the numbers against me, you know, like that her Cam, Nicole, Kayla, Cam, Nicole, like could have ruined me in that first part. And Nicole, the one person I made a deal with, was the one person that was trying to sabotage me and ringlead all the other girls to go against me. And she was the one that took, you know, 2 sticks away from me. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then even despite her doing that, when I caught her doing that and she fucked up her ankle, I stopped. And I was like, I stopped and I tried. I don't know if they showed that. I don't know anything.
They did. I remember seeing that and thinking that was really big of you to, especially after they established before that Nicole was kind of, like you said, leaning the strategy against you. And then when she went down, you literally stopped, went over to her, consoled her. And I think I even tweeted something about that. So I know for a fact they showed that moment. So you definitely.
Okay.
And then you were like, Karma Marie is a bitch.
Is that what you said, or I said? Who said that?
No, I'm just kidding.
That's you. All right, let's put a bow on the Vendettas final. I think you've explained it quite well. I think everyone listening to this probably understands now that although, yes, they did cut it off between first half and second half, that was always part of what they told you guys to do, and there's no benefit to winning that first one by 50 an hour, anything more than 2 seconds, but then the person of the opposite of the same sex as you behind you. So let's get a question from Kelsey in. What was the first thing you bought for yourself after winning the prize from Vendettas?
I think what I ended up doing was I gave my mom money for a car because her car was breaking down. I think that's what I did with it.
Nice.
To be honest, like, for me, you know, everybody can use money. Money makes everything more comfortable. But for me, you know, I had already bought the things that I've done with all my challenge money is I have got LASIK eye surgery, which was the best thing I could have ever done. I've paid off all my student loans, so I'm no longer in debt in anything. I took care of my mom because I'm the only child, and then my mom she's not with anybody, like she's just by herself. So I've taken care of her, like helped, you know, paid money for her to do a whole new kitchen because her kitchen was like from the 70s. And if we resell the house, it'll be worth more. So all new appliances and stuff like that. Got her a new car. And you know, and then I've flown my family and friends out to Montana. So like, I'll take care of, you know, the people that love and support me. And, you know, that's it. Like, I haven't bought anything exorbitant for myself. I bought a car for myself because my car.
Oh yeah. And a car.
No, but my car it had over 100,000 miles on it and it was rotting out. And when I was driving it, the floor literally fell out from underneath me. So I ended up I was freaked out and I was like, I'm going to get a car that's safe. So I did.
The Challenge Mania shop is open. Head over to challengemania.shop today for the best way to support the podcast while looking good doing it. New designs and items added every few weeks. Maniacs, time to mobilize. Check out challengemania.shop today.
That's an extremely wholesome note to put a nice little bow on the Vendettas thing, and we're going to awkwardly transition to the next big subject matter that we got a ton of questions on, which I know we're a little late to the party here because this is sort of the big kind of pre-Challenge 32 storyline that kind of leaked during the Challenge Throwdown event here in New York.
Yeah.
There were rumblings about a relationship between you and Mr. Paulie Calafiore, who has yet to actually make an appearance on the challenge. He'll be debuting on the Challenge 32. He is currently on your screens on X on the Beach, and some of you do know him from Big Brother. Now, we got a chance to meet him here in New York, and we thought that was going to be the end of it, just talking to him at the party, saying hello. But then I get on my computer that Monday and Cara Maria this, Paulie this, MTV.com this, People Magazine this, Us Weekly this. So without me even kind of going into what exactly happened that weekend or between you two in general to just set the internet aflutter, Miss Angelina Jolie, as I've been calling you in this scenario, why don't you tell